Welcome back, everyone. I got my basketball scorebook. So for the school team. And I got a fresh pencil for the scorebook. Because we have a game tonight. How's everybody's day? So for you, Jacob and Gojo, I think you guys are both in the afternoon, right? Okay. Put those down. Okay. No, at night. Okay, my time is... Okay. Gojo, you're way ahead of us. You're much more in the future. We're at 9:16 a.m. Oh, 9:16, 8:16. I haven't adjusted this clock yet for daylight saving time. Do you guys have daylight savings time? Where you set the clocks back an hour or forward an hour? Is that a thing by you? You got tutoring today, Jacob? All right, I got greens as far as the eye can see, so give me a second. Okay, there we go. I do, but it's 5 hours ago, I think. I don't want the Earth's poles. It's not in the Earth's pole. Yeah, so we just fell back, because you fall back, you spring ahead. And I didn't adjust the truck yet. So I gotta do that. Don't know if it'll let me do it while I'm driving. He usually yells at you if you start messing with the display when you're driving. Oh, let me do it. Okay. That's nice of you, truck. Thank you. All right, so I see some yeses on the hyping of the videos. The reason I asked that, and I'll probably repeat it before we end, is a couple of our videos, like I got notifications in studio, actually have a significant amount of hype points. And so I was just wondering if anybody hyped. And again, not our videos per se, but just any videos. And Jacob, I assume with your other channel, some of yours, if you got that many subs, some of yours get hype points. And probably pretty decent hype points. Like, a lot of our videos have like nothing, but there's a couple of them that have, in our mind, like decent hype points. which I found kind of fascinating. Oh, you might not have it though, Jacob, because I think it's only for small creators. I think creators under a certain amount of subs, so I forgot about that. Whether or not you hype videos, apparently you don't like lives. And we just lost half our community. Appreciate the hearts. We got 0 likes, but we're getting hearts. I don't think I've seen the hype thing in a long time. Yeah, so it probably got turned on for our 2 channels that are above 1,000 subs, but since they're less than a different threshold, I've heard it's like less than 10,000. So because we have 2 channels in that like in-betweeny area, I think that's why it exists for us. I think. I could be totally wrong though. I will say somebody did something to the video that of Sun's costume, because we've only ever had that happen, a video take off like that, on one other video. So for whatever reason, people really love that costume video right now. Jacob, I think I asked you this before. On the other channel, and pardon me for not remembering. On the other channel, what's the content you make? You don't have to give me the channel name. I'm not that kind of guy. You know that. I don't press. And Gojo, do you make content too? And if you do, what kind? I'm starting to get more interested in like the kind of stuff that other people make. Mainly community members, not just randos. Hold on, I'll get caught up in a second. Oh, hold the mistletoe, hung where you can see. I'm listening to Christmas music. Okay. Yeah, just when I want to. I started when I was 8 or 9. Okay. And what kind of content is it? Like what kind of videos do you make? So you saw the first ever one, Jacob, huh? Did you boop that like button? That was one that before we were even a channel. So we made that. Literally, Son had made that mini house out of cardboard. At that time, he was into mini everything because mini brands were a big thing. And so he and everyone in the family wanted to see it, and there was no good way to share the file because near people you can just airdrop, right? Well, since we weren't near them, there's no good way to share the file. And since we had to do it that way, I'm like, oh, I can just throw it on YouTube. Sorry, I think we might have buffered for a second, but since we had wanted to share it to people that were all over the place and not near us, I said we can just put it out on YouTube. So, and then about 4 or 5 years went by before we did anything else. So if someone goes to your first videos, finding where you are from, see, it's literally on the title. You've seen an evolution, though. Like, our next first videos was Son running around Spirit Halloween himself with the camera, basically like a chicken with his head cut off, recording shopping Spirit Halloween. What's that one, Gojo? What not ow? What's that one mean? Alright, I'm gonna have a little quick breakfast. And I got a question for you guys, especially since you're not local. Do you guys have apple cider? Because this is an apple cider donut. Is that a song, Gojo? Because if it is, I'm not gonna lie to you. And bear in mind, I'm an old guy. I'm not familiar with that one. Apple cider, Jacob. So it's a cake donut, but one of the liquid ingredients to the mix is apple cider. And I don't know. That's why I was asking if folks outside our neck of the woods, apple cider. I know Bod would have it because the English are big on ciders and meads. You can make cider alcoholic. You can make it non-alcoholic, and so the cider's similar to apple juice, the difference being that like you really don't filter much of anything, and so it's essentially the whole apple. I'm betting he would, Gojo. Unfortunately, he's not here, and as an old guy, I'm in the Christmas music mindset right now. I've been rocking it for a couple of weeks. Yeah, so you can get basically any juice that can be cidered. You can turn it into what's called a hard cider. And hard cider in the US and the UK used to be drank like 10 to 1 based on volume versus beer. And then at some point in the like late 1800s, early 1900s, that switched. But the majorities of them are non-alcoholic. So essentially just unfermented. But man, they're apple cider donuts are... I don't eat donuts. I don't really like them, but apple cider donuts are a tasty treat. Cider with the C. It's a great question, actually. And so if it's got any sort of alcohol level in it, it's called a hard cider. If it doesn't, and you can have apple ciders, you can have pear ciders, you can have peach ciders. I tend not to drink them, the alcoholic versions, because they're pretty darn sweet. So I prefer a traditional, like all different styles of beer, but there are some dry or sour ciders, depending on the variety of fruit that's used, because of the different sugar level. And what's the legal drinking ages in your countries? I mean, I'm not promoting drinking by any way, shape, or form here, but just curious if it's different than the U.S. Okay, so it is different. It's 21 here. Some states used to be 18, but they've gone 21 universal, because you had people that would just drive across state lines, then end up drinking and then driving back to their home state, and it was causing all sorts of accidents. Oh, same here. People get a hold of it, Jacob, but like being able to purchase it and have it at a restaurant or with a meal or at an event, you got to be 21 or older. So a lot of the wristbands that I have, I keep on from all the fun stuff that we do and go out and do. Like some of them are branded, like the ones I had made for Son and I. But like this one, you see, it says buy beer. It's because in order to, when we were at Nightmare on Chicago Street, that Halloween festival, in order to purchase any alcohols, you had to have a 21 and older wristband, or to even be walking around with one. They don't really care. Okay. Here, it's huge fines. You can lose your ability to sell, so what we call a liquor license, and you get fined a ton of money. So that's why in college, like, the younger kids will always become buddies with the older kids and stuff like that. Gojo, those are the kinds of subjects that we don't really like to delve into, because those are... I don't disagree. It's a worthwhile thought and conversation. I don't want it to happen. So I will go on record and say we try to, because those thoughts exist and they are real. This is the kind of community where we'd rather talk about like what the legal drinking age is and stuff like that. So you can forget about those worries for a couple minutes. But I'm not downplaying your question or concern, because I do think it's a reality. For sure. Nice. Vodkas are fun. And what I mean by that is some can be like grape, some can be potatoes, some can be corn, some can be... So you can get different flavors, different distilled, different country of origin. I definitely have my favorites, don't get me wrong, depending on what I'm doing with it. You guys want treats? Is that what everyone's hovering for? That's the licky treats. And then Remus gets these. They're freeze-dried beef livers, believe it or not. And he loves them. God, he loves them. What's my favorite one? Again, it's gonna be depending if I'm drinking it straight up or if I'm making a drink out of it. If I'm drinking it straight up, and it's also gonna depend my mood. It's either gonna be Chopin, which is spelled like choppin', Chopin. That's a potato version. It's gonna be the name is skipping me. Is it Black Kettle? I think it's Black Kettle. And then the third one I really like is, if I'm just straight sipping, Grey Goose. Gojo, just out of curiosity, if you're still here, why are you concerned with that question right now? Kettle one, not Black Kettle. Dang it. Dingbat. That's on me, Jacob. That's on me, Kettle one. It's a little early in the day to be having this conversation, though. I'm not going to lie to you. And there's another difference right there, Jacob, in the comments. The way you wrote favorite, that's the British way, putting the U in it. In the U.S., we drop the U, and it's just Avorite. Same with the word color. We drop the U. All right, I want to know the ones you really hate before I have to go, because I got to go start my meetings. Let me know which ones you really hate, because I want to know if I've had them before. Because obviously there could be some local varieties by you that we don't get here. Because I see it on Instagram and say some... and therein lies the issue, Gojo. That's why we kind of want to be, I would say, different. Because a lot of the stuff you see out there is a lot of negative stuff. We just want to be a place where you can come, turn all that off, and just relax for, whether it's a 15-minute live, an hour-long live, just relax. Just forget about all that noise and garbage. I'm not saying to be in denial. Just relax. Because I will say I'm showing 5 people. The 5 of us here probably won't have an influence on whether it happens or gets prevented. That's just my guess. If that makes sense. Appreciate you, Matt. Yeah, we're going to be ending this one shortly because I got to get to my meetings. But Svedka and Popoff, I've had Svedka. I agree with you. It's like bottom barrel. I've never had or heard of Popoff. That's why instead we focus on collecting money for babies. So these go to a charity for mothers and babies. We just figure if enough people do the right things, then we don't have to concern ourselves with the bad things. Hopefully that makes sense. I can tell you in the US, Jacob, typically the way the shelves work is the bottom is the cheapest, the top is the most expensive, and there's usually 4 or 5 shelves high. Usually in the middle is kind of the sweet spot because it's the perfect blend of cost, because the higher you go on the shelf, a lot of times those are just hyped. And so you're paying for a label, you're paying for a celebrity endorsement, you're paying for something like that. The bottom is they've cut every corner to produce something that they can sell as that thing. And it'll still work, but you're not going to feel great doing it. It's going to taste like garbage. You're kind of prepared for Christmas? Well, that's awesome. We're slowly getting there because we're still getting out of our Halloween mindset. But the last thing I'll do is, the reason for the question on the hype is we've had some recent videos that have gotten some pretty decent hype points. And so I just wondered if people hyped and why they chose to hype certain videos and not other videos. So that was the reason for the question. I'll probably ask it a few more times in later ones. Now that YouTube Studio is promoting that statistic to me. So, but that was the reason for that. So what's everyone's plans for the day before I cut it? Because I'll give you our plans. I usually give you an update on what the comings and goings are. All right, there we go. Sorry. Why does Hong Kong not have snow? I'm going to go with the coastal proximity, and I believe it's closeness to the equator. We're pretty far north, so that's why we get snow like we do. So we're being north of the equator helps quite a bit. 1984, I see that got hidden or retracted, but I don't disagree. When I was 20, I had the same opinion. I'm just 1 year away. What the heck? Go to lessons and then go out for some coffee. There you go, Jacob. Sounds like a good day. For us, I think I can do pickup. So pickup will be on the DIY channel, and that'll be in roughly 6 hours from right now. And then we have a basketball game tonight. So, and it's a decent drive. So I'll probably go live on the drive, and then for sure live on the way home after the game. But the game's at 6 o'clock p.m. our time. So we don't go live for our game because Mama's the scorekeeper and I'm the coach. So we can't go live for that. So, since 2022. Yeah, I sit there and joke and say I don't see snow either, but the snows we get are like the snows you guys saw, like that dusting. We used to get like 6, 8, 12 inches at a time, and we just don't get that anymore. So I'm hoping this year we do. But, okay, so look for us in about 6 hours. That'll be on the DIY channel. And then a few hours after that, the rest of the night will be on the Do It All channel. But we'll go live before the game. Bear in mind, it's 8:30 a.m. right now. The game's at 6, so to drive there, we'll probably have to leave at about 5. And then we'll go live after the game. So, got to get to my meetings. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I will talk to you soon. You guys take care. If it's afternoon for you, have a great afternoon. If it's morning for you, like me and Matt, have a great morning. And I'll talk to you early this afternoon for us. All our best. Appreciate you. Okay, Gojo, hopefully we catch you tomorrow then. Enjoy your sleep. Have a good night.